We are all good at some things and not so great at other things. But what happens when you don't believe that you're good at anything? Hi, my name is Lisa Sharmahorn and I am a mindset coach. And I want to tell you my story of really about growing up with very little confidence and being very depressed and not believing that I was smart. As a young child, my mother had three children under the age of 5. I was a November baby, so the cutoff date was September, but my mother couldn't handle having three at home at the same time. So she put me in a private kindergarten and I was a full year younger than everyone. What no one knew was that I had some undiagnosed learning disabilities on top of that. So I remember being back in school and everyone could read, everyone knew their letters, they knew their numbers, they could count, and I couldn't do anything. Everything seemed so hard to me. And that began the cycle that continued all through my school years. Every report card came with a spanking with my father's belt. Every summer, I spent my summer in summer school. It was really hard. My self-esteem was so low. I didn't think I was good at anything. I felt worthless. I didn't understand um, why someone would even want to be my friend. As I got older, I did go on to college, and I had kind of given up my power. I learned to give my power away because I thought that everyone knew more than I did. I thought that everyone else was smarter. So I let my parents choose my college and my major. Um, I got married young and decided I was going to be the best mother that I could be until I got to my late 30s and something happened where I went into a really deep depression and I had no sense of self. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't understand why people wanted to be around me. I went from therapist to therapist and sometimes 2 to 3 times a week, and no one was able to help me. And finally someone suggested a hypnotist. And I'm like, hypno what? Don't they make people quack like a duck? And I thought to myself, well, I'll try anything at this point. So I went to see this hypnotist, and what was amazing to me was I was blown away by how much better I started to feel. So that I continued to learn all these other techniques because I was getting better. So I went on to become a certified hypnotherapist. I became a neuro-linguistic program, a master practitioner. I then began to study energy medicine, and I went all around the world learning and studying. And really what I did was I studied everything that I could get my hands on. I went to the best teachers, whoever taught whatever I wanted to learn. I would fly wherever I needed to go to learn from them. I got books and I couldn't stop learning. Everything became easy and effortless for me. And I realized that yes, I'm actually smart. I'm actually good at something. It changed my life. And I realized that I had become the person that I was looking for 20 years before. So through all of those studies and all of those things helped me build the confidence that I didn't have before because I learned differently. And that was really important for me to understand that I'm not like everyone else, and that's okay. I accept that about myself. And once I owned that, then I could go out and tell my story. And what people don't realize is that our brains are in different frequencies when we are younger. When we're babies, we come out in these frequencies where our brain is just this really slow frequency. And that frequency helps you to absorb all kinds of incredible information. Think about what a newborn has to learn between sound and smells and taste and color and emotion. And as we get older, that frequency gets smaller. But what's really interesting is that we get programmed at a very deep level at those young ages. And there's studies that say that by the time you're 5, you're pretty much, all your belief systems are in. You're already programmed by the time you're age of 5. Now, where do those programs come from? Those programs come from your parents, your siblings, your friends. They come from every experience, whether or not you live in the city, if you live in the country, your religion, your culture, your food. All of those belief systems help make you become you. But what happens when those belief systems don't really mesh with who you believe you are? That's a tough one. And so learning to stand up and finding out what your true mindset is a process. There's something else that you get influenced by. It's a science called epigenetics. And the interesting thing about epigenetics, and they've done studies about this, is that you can have a great-great-grandparent who suffered something traumatic and had a shift in their belief system. And that belief system got passed down through your DNA to you. So if you have these belief systems and you don't even know why you have them, but they're coming from your great-grandparent, and you see these patterns and you can't get out of them because they're deep in your unconscious. So it's like that hamster wheel doing the same thing over and over again, and you can't get out of it. They actually did a study with mice where they had them smell this particular smell of like cherries, almond smell. And every time they smelled that, they would get shocked. And then every time they smelled that smell, they would run even without the shock. Well, their grandchildren, having never been shocked at all, developed this belief system, for a mice that smell is something to run from. And so anytime they had that smell, they were out of there. They were afraid and they had never been shocked. So these belief systems get passed down to us. And so when we are afraid and we're not confident, yes, public speaking can be something that we're all afraid of, but that's a natural fear. These are fears that are above and beyond that. Lack of worthiness, lack of just believing in yourself, thinking that you're not smart like I had. And so all of these things coat every decision you make. Imagine putting on a set of sunglasses, and these sunglasses have the perspective of, I'm not smart, I'm not worthy. Everything you see after that becomes the lens coming back to you. So, for instance, when you're in a situation where when you go to buy a car, and after you buy that car, you see that car everywhere on that road, that same make and model, and you're like, I thought I got something unique. Well, guess what? Your brain has something called a reticular activating system. And so whatever you think, that's what you attract. So when you don't trust someone or you don't think you're worthy, you will keep attracting those situations in your life. And one of the things that I have devoted my life to, and I said this before, is I became the person I was looking for 20 years ago. That I can help people shift what they're experiencing, those belief systems that don't serve them any longer, quickly, using these really cutting-edge mind hacks and ancient traditions that are science-based to help you get in alignment with who you truly are. I'm very excited to be here, and thank you so much for listening to my story.